Hey, welcome back, where we look at facts and data behind crypto projects to help you cut through the hopium and make more unbiased decisions, projects that you want to get into. So today, I wanted to talk about a microcap I found. It's DPIN. I really like it, but video might be a little bit rushed because I just wanted to get this out to the audience. You guys have been great. I try to provide more value than anyone else out there. That's my goal. So in the name of that, let's take a look. This play reminds me a lot of kind of my strategy. My strategy was like last cycle I did really well on a couple plays, like Wi-Fi was one. It was a fair launch, similar to this one, and I got in like the first week or something, and it did really well. And then it's kind of like Helium too, or it's like a utility token as well. Um, and of course, at this point, it's super risky, a super low market cap. I think it just bounced back down to like 6 million market cap, so it's tiny. It's absolutely tiny. Let me look at. Let me pull up the screen. Let's look at Wi-Fi just so the old play. This is an old yield pool that I got into, and we're back in 2020 here just to show you like that's kind of when I got in, like July 27th was when it was a 15 million market cap, so even higher than this one is right now. But it did really well. It was community driven, similar to this one. The team was pretty strong. They executed really well. Not pretty strong. They were really strong. But anyway, that's what this one reminds me of. So it's called Open GPU. Like I said, I kind of just stumbled across this thing and did a bunch of research last night. So I am a holder in it. Just like to be very clear, I am holding it. I am not paid anything to do this. I'm receiving nothing. I just did the research, give it to you guys, so you can at least take a look at it. I take zero promotions. So they are they call themselves a truly decentralized GPU computing network. So there are a lot of these around, and we'll get into that, like their competition. But their idea is that instead of doing these GPU rentals, like a lot of these blockchains, you rent a single GPU from them or multiple GPUs, but you block it off, like each one off, and you use it, and you rent them by time, like a time period. So like if you're off on the time period that takes for you to do the task, then you have to pay that extra fee. It's less efficient. They're more of a on-demand type of GPU service, so you don't actually rent the GPUs. You go through their infrastructure. It's kind of a brilliant infrastructure where you just put the task on the network, and then GPUs compete to do the work, and then they only get paid for the tasks they do, nothing else. Like it's not time based. It is time based, but it's only for like while they're doing the work. And then you like AI companies or companies that are having this GPU work done, um, they don't pay anything other than what the task is, the GPU, the computing power used for the task, right? So no extra time on top of that. Let's go through the list, make sure I didn't miss anything. So yeah, one of the things they claim is that most other projects are only have decentralized payment rails, not the actual GPU network. Now BitTensor does, but they also have 32 subnets, I think, and they Open GPU guys claim that it's because their solution isn't scalable, while Open GPU is. Um, like I said, on demand GPU access. So like you're not renting individual GPUs just for the task. It's through their orchestration layer. Is what they're calling it. And then let's see. I went over all that. The Staking Explorer currently has like 1,400, about maybe 50, yeah, 1,440 GPUs on the platform. I don't know if those are validated yet, but they do have a plan to validate. So if you're following DPIN at all, Martin Shkreli lit up, IONet, which is another big DPIN, because they weren't basically verifying their GPUs. So they had a whole bunch of either spoofing or people renting, partial allocations of GPU to get rewards on their airdrop, which they snapshot of like April 25th. So their solution was that they make them do the IONet makes each GPU do a hash every 24 hours. Open GPU sounds like they're a little more forward thinking on this, and they're using Avalanche's Snowflake algorithm. I don't think it's not integrated yet, but it's supposed to be built in, and that validates the GPUs every 3 seconds apparently. So they will have their own layer one. Right now they have a token OGPU, and that token is just for payment rails. In the future, then the layer one will actually host all the computing and all these different products they have. So, one other benefit is I don't know if other networks do this, but one of the AMAs, someone asked if they had a GPU, like a high-end GPU, if they could just allocate a percentage of that GPU to the network, and the network should allow that. This project should. So their products. So like I said, they've got four different. I don't know if you call them products or like layers in their software architecture. The first one's the infrastructure layer. That is for the GPUs. There's the blockchain layer. I think that's self-explanatory. There's the application layer, and the thought is there that they'll have you'll be able to develop apps. Devs will be able to make different products that they can sell in some sort of app store. I don't know if that's like officially in the roadmap, but it's been discussed. And then the orchestration layer. And the orchestration layer is basically when an individual, a startup, or like a company comes in and they need a task done with a GPU. They integrate with or interface with the orchestration layer and basically say, "Hey, here's the task I need done," and then it puts it out to the network, to the GPUs to get the work done. The DevNet is launched. That's as far as they've gotten with the product. Testnet is set for launch in June, and mainnet is tentatively slated for September. So the markets and revenue. So the markets is massive. Obviously, adoption is going to be an issue, and like timeliness, like speed of development is to get this product going during this bull phase. So obviously, consumer and enterprise markets are open, available, and then they're AI computing focused, but able to provide perform other tasks. So not all, you got to look at these GPU networks carefully because they're not all designed for AI computing. Like Nodes AI is, GPU render is not. So they're just all different. IONet is designed for AI computing, and from what I understand, I'm not technical enough to know this by heart, but they different. There's different requirements for like an AI task versus a rendering task. I mean, I think that's obvious because if you look at NVIDIA's recent sales, their high-end GPUs, those are the ones that are being gobbled up by AI companies or companies that provide AI computing. So that is another question of this project. Like, are they going to be able to onboard a lot of these high-powered GPUs that are really tough to get your hands on? And I think they have a competitive advantage. We should get into that a little later. They have no current revenue, but they do have a buy-sell tax of 5%. Probably the biggest downside of their tokenomics. And then just a note here, like AWS is in this computing market. They do all sorts of computing, but their largest, they're one of the largest players. No, they're the largest player, I believe. But anyway, they did 25 billion in revenue, 100 billion annualized last year just in the computing market. And that's just to give you an idea of what like the market size is. I mean, obviously bigger than that, but it's massive. So, one thing I want to make sure I mention, they claim that their solution is more scalable than their competitors' solutions. I don't know if I had this in here. So even the ones that do have a decentralized network for their GPUs, they claim scalability. So they repeatedly claim it. So can only take their word for it. I'm not technical enough to know to prove that out. So their tokenomics, they got a 2-token model. They only have 1 token launched right now. That's the one that they're supposedly using in the future for payment processing. Not payment processing, but rewarding the system, right? Like the OGPU token is the one that is currently deployed. That one will be used for paying, for for companies who come in and want a task done, they'll pay the network with that. They'll pay for the tasks with that, and then the GPUs should be rewarded in that as well, from my understanding. It is a fair launch, which just reminds me of that Wi-Fi launch early last cycle. The team owns tokens, but only after they're incentivized to do so by a new team member joining. Has more kind of like hands-on building. The business side of the projects, because originally they took nothing. So that's a pretty good sign, in my opinion. Incredibly low supply, same as BitTensor. Looks like 21 million tokens available. The maximum wallet size is 2%, just to ensure that there's a democratized token distribution. And then, like I said, 5% tax on buy and sell. That all goes to GPU stakers. 5% is held for partnerships in the future. I think that's like KOLs or like, influencer campaigns or marketing, that sort of stuff. It might also be used for the way it's worded. It might also be used for incentivizing maybe GPUs to come on the network, big GPU centers, or some AI, some people who need AI computing to switch networks to their network. And then they've got 5% held for a tier one exchange listing, and that is slated for December. Those tokens are locked till December, so maybe they could do it earlier, but who knows? A lot of moving pieces, it seems like, because they're pretty early. I don't think they could unlock them. They might just do some, take the funds from elsewhere if they were to do that. Could be hopeful thinking, but anyway, there will be another layer one blockchain. Like I said, that one, it will be 1-to-1 with the OGPU token, so you should not get diluted. And then, like I said, payment layer. So the GPU network and orchestration layer, implementation. Is that what it is? Infrastructure layer. Yeah. That'll all be built on that the other blockchain that's being developed. The LP tokens, the liquidity pool tokens, are locked for 21 years. And then, like I said, the CE centralized exchange tier one listing locked up till December 2024. Team is not doxed. That is by far the biggest downside of this project so far. They have hosted 2 AMAs. So they hosted one April 21st and May 5th. That's location where you can find both of them. They got the 21st one on Twitter or X, and then the May 5th one is in Telegram if you search for it. I guess you guys know I don't like Telegram, but this one's pretty well run. And the only thing I'll say is, like, I'd recommend listening to those before you guys throw any cash at this. Just good to really understand the project. And that gives you the best idea. They do have white papers out, but you really get a sense for the team through those telegrams, or sorry, through those AMAs. What we know about the team. So the founder, he currently builds private blockchains at a bank. He is European. They have released some more information too. You can find it in the Telegram. I don't think he's full time, but he's very active in the Discord, and he does, or sorry, in the Telegram. And he does have plans to go full time on the project, but he has a team, a dev team, who he met most of them in college, from my understanding, and they do work in with Jira's. It's very professional the way it sounds like they work. Jiras are just like a way to assign tasks to coders and keep projects organized and moving forward. So managers of software engineers use these to keep their employees right, like, on task and organized, to make sure they're during like the tasks that need to be done to get stuff developed. And they have executed 2 projects already. They got the DevNet out and the staking pool. So it does appear like they're working extremely fast, and it doesn't seem like they've been borrowing like any code. I mean, like, I'm sure they do, right, from other projects like here and there, but it sounds like it's all developed in house. So that's pretty impressive if that's true. So the founder is very active in Telegram. Like I said, recommend going in there and just checking out his his comments and discourse. They've got no financial backers at this point. They could bring in financial backers in the future to speed up development. I think that's been mentioned before. So let's get to the catalysts and downsides of this project. So the thing I really like about this project is it's a unique product market fit, right? Like in a very hot niche. So the like the reason I think Wi-Fi did so well was they solved the problem eloquently of yield pools and liquidity pools, and it was more fair than almost all the other ones that were going on, and it was more secure too. So they just did a better job at executing on the product at the time. And when you have a competitive marketplace, like that's what you need to be successful, and that's why I think this project can do really well. Also, I like that it's a fair launch and has a really low token supply. I mean, fair launch without the members being doxxed, like I don't think I would have put anything into this project if it wasn't a fair launch. So I think that tells you a lot about what the team, kind of like the team's mentality around the project and how seriously that they're taking it and like their intentions. But of course, like there's always, I looked at the contract through those scanners, and it looks good. It's been audited, but like you can't take out all risk, right? There's always a chance there's some like code in there that could honeypot it, but it doesn't look like it from the research I've done. Just know, man, it's a risk. It's a risk. The team knowledge and execution has been phenomenal at this point. And if you listen to them talk, like you can tell they're knowledgeable around it. The founder actually wrote a research paper about it in college, and it was conceptualized in 2017. Obviously, the tech wasn't available to do it, but like the framework was. So they're basically executing on this idea they've had drawn up years ago, uh, and they've got good documentation around it. If you check out the website, it is community driven, so they're trying to build this thing like from the community side first. Drive GPUs to the network and get the make the GPU owners happy, right? Like get GPU owners in there that are serious about the project, get them to stake and incentivize them to come in and stick around. Because I mean, it is kind of a brilliant strategy, because if you look at like Nodes AI, it looks like their biggest issue is getting GPUs on the network, and that's why I've been kind of waffling around getting into a DeepIn project, because like, man, if you can't get GPUs on the network, like how are you going to um, you know have a viable business? So I think they've done a good job on that front, and I don't think they're going to expand their marketing until they start to increase the market cap and progress on the development side. So if you have a GPU, you might want to check it out. The risk and downside, like the team not being doxxed, is a huge risk, right? Like you can't dance around it, right? Like I'm not going to feel super comfortable until they dox themselves. So just consider that. Like it's just kind of a red flag in every project, and you'll see it gets hit pretty hard. It gets hit really hard on the model scores by it. So don't assume like because of all this information that like it's a safe project, like totally safe, because it's not. Right? This is a super low market cap, micro market cap, high risk, and don't look past that. Development and adoption speed, that is definitely a concern, right? Like the bull market isn't going to last forever. How fast are they going to be able to put this, implement this project? Because they got to get people on the network and get people using the network. So when they launch the testnet in June, it sounds like it'll be a viable product where people, companies, and individuals can come onto the network and start computing, right? Put their code on there and start getting GPUs working on their code. Um, so sounds like they might be, practical sooner rather than later, a viable product sooner rather than later. So we'll see. And tier one exchange listing not until December. That really delays, the potential for investors to get in on this, like mainstream retail investors, right? Because you're not going to have like your friends aren't going to be buying this thing on Uniswap. Right now, it's only on Uniswap. Even if it's just on like Qcoin. I mean, let's be honest. Like, how many people are really going to buy it? But on the flip side, Nodes.ai is like $150 market cap in this correction, and it's only on like Uniswap and one other exchange. So I think there is near-term potential, and that's why personally I got in. So not personalized financial advice for yourself. So uh, they may look to list on some other exchanges after 100 million market cap, but we'll see how that pans out. I don't think that's set in stone. So some comparable projects. So this is a really interesting chart. Like if you look at Render, they're obviously a little different in their market application. They primarily do like video rendering. It's reported they have 10,000 GPUs and their market cap's like 3 billion. So you can kind of see the potential of the project, right? If they're able to increase the GPUs on network, that comes out to like $283,000 per GPU, and like the highest end GPUs, I think they're going for like maybe 80,000. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but that's a high multiple on like a fixed asset. So take it as you will. The other nice like thing to note here is that Node AI, I just looked them up. They have 440 GPUs on the network, and the market cap's 150 million dollars right now. So OpenGPU has 1,400 now. Like they have them tiered. Tier one GPUs, tier two, tier three. Like tier threes are like GPU in your, basic GPU in your computer. A tier one's like a higher end GPU. I don't think any of I didn't see any like super high end industrial GPUs on there, but they could be on there. But anyway, the point is like not all of those are super high quality GPUs, so just keep that in mind. But even still, like if we're gonna do the math on that, say Node AI is being valued at $340,000 per GPU on the network, and we assume that they're all the same quality. We'll just do the math here on the handy calculator. Like that's a $475,000, or sorry, $470 million market cap for OpenGPU at this point. So, I mean, even if you slash that to 500, right? It's still an undervalued project just based on that fact. But I mean, you would have to take into consideration some of the other factors in OpenGPU too, right? Like team not doxed, still in test or sorry, DevNet, so not even testnet. Those are important considerations, and definitely should take that into account. And then I show here BitTensor's one of their strong competitors. They've got 32 subnets, like I said, not as scalable reportedly, and they're worth about 3 billion right now. So there's definitely a lot of upside to this. And then IONET, I was going to do an IONET video first, but I just came across this one and wanted to get it out to you guys. They had a big issue with like GPU verification. I think I covered it a little bit earlier. Their verified GPU list now is 11,300. And just to give you an idea, their previous verified GPUs their previous GPU count before they started the verification, like hashing, was like 700,000. Like people were spoofing the crap out of that thing. So also keep in mind, like if these open GPUs aren't verified yet, like that number could get slashed as well, like significantly. So that might not be, completely true, but there's a lot of variables we just don't know yet. And the answer might be in the Telegram. Like I would say, like if that's a major concern for you, like go search the Telegram or ask. Like they'll answer you in there. They've got a lot of good support in the chat. So let's see what else. I think I discussed all this. Oh, the one thing that they mentioned that differentiates them is a lot of these other projects. Apparently, you have to reveal your source code when you want an AI task done. So, like when you send the code to the GPU on another GPU blockchain, you have to, or even the ones that are centralized, like you have to send it as the source code. So the way they've architected, like the way they do the software architecture in this project, apparently, like reportedly, because the company looking for the processing power is interfaced with the orchestration layer, they're able to obfuscate it and like not show the source code to the GPU. So it doesn't like that code no longer has to be open source. So I'm sure some companies are fine with open sourcing their code, but like other companies, might want to keep that private. So just opens up additional, additional customers and kind of a nice little, benefit that makes users feel better, right? So the scores and cap prediction. So the speculative potential of this thing is massive. It's low cap. I believe they've got a unique product that fits the market really well, and the model agrees. The staying power is and reputation both get huge hits because like we don't know much about the team, and it's a young project. So both of those scores rely heavily on those two things, and it is what it is. Like they did execute on on the things that they said they're going to execute on so far, which is a great sign. They're very knowledgeable. They seem as very transparent by doing the AMAs, and the knowledge that they discuss in there is pretty high level too. But without knowing who the team members are, it's going to be tough to feel more confident in it. And yeah, yeah, like it just makes me a little nervous. So understand, man, this is a risky play, but it does have a lot of upside. So um, obviously, your choice here on what you want to do. Now, somebody just sold some investor just sold a bunch. I think right before I started recording the video. Last time I looked at the market cap is around 6 million, which would give you, I think bottom case is 500 million for the cycle. That's if they're unable to list on any other exchanges and don't gain any traction and have issues developing. Like I think that's where they could, where they would get to. Um, Peak bull case, they could do what they could get to like BitTensor's market cap. That's going to be really tough. It's going to be really tough. Like you're going to have to deploy code faster than faster than we've ever seen, right? So who knows though? They might get some financial backing and be able to build a team quickly and execute extremely quickly. So I also think the bull market is shorter than a lot of other people do. So yeah, take that into consideration as well. But if we get there, that's a pretty nice return. So um, be careful. Like do the research yourself on this one, and I hope this was valuable to you. If you're still here, this long rant, you got some value out of this. So give me a little sub, and you'll get a notification the next time I put something like this out. So thanks for watching.